She has trains fucking stop running. Your final act ever at the Comedy Dome. Everywhere from Disney to the Aristocrats, he was voted by Comedy Central one of the 100 greatest comedians of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, that's our show for tonight. You came to see me, you saw me, get out. Now, if anyone said, did you see him? Yeah, I saw him. And so you got a pretty, yeah, he was standing right under the light. And, all right, look, I don't want to be here any more than you do, so. Let me barrel through this, we can all get the hell out. I mean, I'm not even going to do the whole jokes, I'll do the setups, and you could pretty much do it. It's like, did this ever happen to you? Yeah, it happened. Yeah. How many times has this happened? A lot. It's happened a lot. Boy, men and women, huh? Oh, they're different. Yeah, they're different. Then on the way home, you'll be going, boy, was he good. That men and women, huh? Did you know they were different? I didn't. Boy, I sure wish I had a car right now. Standing here giving these two homeless guys a hand job. Through by now. I figured at least one of them would have died by now. You know, in retrospect, I should have given them both $1 and that would have been over with. But you're a dynamite crowd, you're a dynamite audience, you're a dynamite group of people, and I mean dynamite in the literal sense of the word, like something that could explode and cripple or kill a person. You're like an ice pick through the skull kind of a crowd. You're like a big black rusty crowbar embedded in the eye socket. And you're there going, why did it have to be a rusty crowbar? Couldn't they have shoved a brand new crowbar? But it's embedded and there's a midget jumping up and down. Billy Barty is jumping up and down. And while he's jumping, Gary Coleman. And Billy says, Gary, get on up here. And Gary says okay. Well, actually goes, okay. And now the two of them are holding hands, jumping up and down. And then Hervé Villachez. And they say, Hervé, get on up here. And Hervé's there going, wait for me on top of the crowbar. It takes me a long time to get to the top of the crowbar. It takes me 10, 12 months to get to the top of the crowbar. And then that short, disgusting woman with the squeaky voice from Poltergeist. And she climbs up there, and she's wearing the skirt. And you don't want to look up a midget skirt. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. You don't want to look up a midget skirt. I mean, you think their heads look weird. Now, I know what you're all saying right now. Who is he to tell me I can't look up a midget skirt? Well, I wouldn't try to stop you. I'm just saying I look askance at that activity. That's an activity I look askance at. If I caught you doing it, I'd give you my askance look. I'd go... Cause I hate midgets. I've always hated midgets. Sometimes if I'm walking down the street, if I spot a midget, I'll walk over and punch him. Sometimes you get one of those midgets, you punch him, he falls down and bounces right back up again. Then you can keep punching him. Then he tries to make a run for it. And I'm right behind going, here, see how much longer my legs are? And then he starts speeding up. And it's like, look, taking my time. Because I hate me. My biggest fear when I get on an airplane is that the stewardess is going to say, oh, your seat's right over there, right next to that midget. The one that's sitting on the phone book to look out the window. Then you gotta sit there the whole time making midget conversation with her. In other words, small talk. Like, can I use you for a flotation device? How did they invent the holiday of Easter? Well, they're standing around a group of people saying we need a holiday for when Christ returns to the earth. And one guy in the crowd yelled out, I got it, a rabbit. They were like, were you even paying attention? No, it's a rabbit, and he's got eggs. He's got a basket of eggs. What's a rabbit doing with eggs? Well, they're not regular, they're painted eggs. And, well, how does the rabbit hold on to a basket? A rabbit has paws. No, this is a rabbit with hands. A rabbit with big human hands. It's like a mutant freak of nature. nature rabbit. And to counteract the fact that you're looking at a mutant freak of nature rabbit with big human hands, he wears a little bow tie. And then you look and you go, it's a horrifying rabbit with human hands, but that bow tie is real snazzy. Every one of these jokes was predicted by Nostradamus 400 years ago today. He also predicted Henry Winkler would have his own TV show. People going, Winkler, Chachi, I could see. Winkler, not so much. Or Chachi and a second Chachi. See, but back then it was the 1400s and people were walking around going, this is a long time ago. Sometimes I'd sit and talk to Nostradamus and he'd just sit there and go, I know. Once I went to the movies with Nostradamus and I said, boy, what did you think of that ending? And he said, what, you didn't see that coming? One time I was talking to Herman Melville and he said, I'm writing a book called Moby Dick. It's about a guy in a boat. Do you think it needs something? And I said, offhand, a whale. Put a whale in it. And he said, well, a whale? And I said, yeah, a whale and the one-legged sea captain. And he said, well, wait a minute, how did the sea captain lose his leg? And I said, I don't know, did the whale bit it off? And he said, so what you're telling me is a tiny little sea captain falls into the ocean and a gigantic whale with an enormous mouth turns his giant head off to the side, looks out of the corner of his eye, and he leans in and he nips one leg off. He just snips, looking down with this eye, nips one leg off. And it's like with these little teeth here, he nips here's a sea captain the size of a Rice Krispie, and he falls in the ocean, and a whale with the mouth the size of LaGuardia Airport turns his apartment building size head off to the side and looks out of the corner of his eye, and with these little teeth here, he bites a leg off. And how was he able to live after that? And I said, I don't know, the other sailors saved him. And he goes, so if you're telling me a tiny tic-tac of a sea captain falls in the ocean, giant whale with giant head the size of Rhode Island, turns his head and looks at it again, and he rips off the captain's leg, and a group of sailors who don't have a kindergarten education perform microsurgery and save his life. And I said, well, you might need to tighten it up. My favorite time of day is that time of day toward late afternoon to early evening, where sometimes the sun is still out and the moon is also out, and the sun and moon are out at the same time. And the sun is looking at the moon going, what are you doing? And the moon's like, what did I do? And the sun's like, it's daytime. Daytime, I come out, nighttime. How long have we been doing this? And the moon's like, well, I can't go back now. I really look like an idiot. And maybe we could pass by each other and make it look like an eclipse. Because you can never look at the most dangerous thing you could do is look at an eclipse. It's like if the sun is shining in the sky, you can stare straight at it, no problem. But if something is blocking the sun, cover your eyes! It's shade! It'll burn your retina out! And then you get those science experts who come on TV going, well, if you have to look at an eclipse, the best thing to do is take a shoebox and bore a hole in the bottom of it. Now you still can't see the eclipse, but you've ruined a perfectly good shoebox. Now you have to go back in your house because everyone's going, look what he did to a good shoebox. Who does that to a good shoebox? I just finished reading Mackenzie Phillips' autobiography. In Mackenzie Phillips' autobiography, she says that when she was a little girl, her father would climb into bed with her every night and have sex with her. This, to me, was mind-boggling. I can't get my daughter to hold my hand when we cross the street. We're running through oncoming traffic. Trucks and buses are going by, and she's pulling away from me, and this guy's nailing his daughter every night. I don't know how he does it. I figure he just has more confidence than I do. And I'm not saying I want to have sex with my daughter. I'm just saying I wanted to know that Barbie Dreamhouse wasn't free. I mean, you could show some appreciation. Let me tell you, when I was a little boy, if my father bought me a baseball, I would have made out with him. And I don't want to tell you what I would have done with him for a G.I. Joe. Because I always wanted a G.I. Joe. I always felt like I looked like G.I. Joe. I don't mean the handsome face and muscular body, but without our pants on, we look exactly. But, you know, I don't want to brag right now, but I once posed nude for Playgirl magazine. You don't see anything, my thumb was in the way. You know, when man first landed on the moon, his first words were, "There's nothing up here." And back on the ground at NASA, they going, "What do you mean there's nothing up there?" And he goes, "There's nothing here. Look out your window, look up at the moon, you'll see everything I'm seeing up here." And they said, "Well, do they at least have that big picture of Jackie Gleason on the side?" he said, that's the first thing I looked for. It's not here. I'm telling you, this trip was a waste of time. And at NASA, they were going, well, don't say that. Say one small step for man. And he says, but there's two of us up here. Forget the other guy. You'll be known as the first man to land on the moon. The other guy will give him a t-shirt. You'll go down in history, and the other guy will have a t-shirt that says, I went to the moon, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. You know, the surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's a dry heat. I hate the Amish people.
Oh my God.
I've always hated the Amish people. They're just too smug. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have sex, and they don't talk on the phone. Of course they don't talk on the phone, there's nothing for them to talk about. If you don't drink or have sex, who in a big hurry to brag to? It's like, guess what? I didn't have sex at all last night. You animal! And I went to a party, I didn't have a drop of alcohol. I could have driven home. If only they allowed us to have cars. Kinda kills it to get drunk and race a horse home. See, because they don't drink, they don't smoke, I want to know how the Amish people plan their days. It's like, so, what do you want to do tomorrow? Gee, I don't know. Let's stand by the roadside and frown. We'll get up at 3 in the morning, and whenever someone goes by, we'll go. Because they don't do it. They don't drink or smoke or have sex, and, well, they don't do anything. Unless, of course, Harrison Ford stops by. Harrison Ford comes by, their whole culture flies out the window. It's like, it's Harrison Ford! Let's have an orgy! Harrison Ford has that effect on people. Harrison Ford could show up in India, and after 2 minutes they go, it's Harrison Ford! Let's kill a cow! I always hated those cows anyway. We're all starving to death, there are cows walking around. And let's get these damn ducks off our heads. Like having a glue-on pimple. How'd you get that pimple? You eat a lot of chocolate? I don't eat anything. I don't know, everyone else was wearing it. You know, 1,000 years ago in India, somebody showed up and said, hey, watch this. Bela Lugosi, interested in what someone's telling him. Oh, really? Bela Lugosi only pretending to be interested. Yeah. Bela Lugosi, when he's not wearing a watch, and you ask him what time it is. 10. Bela Lugosi, when he's been telling you a long, drawn-out story, and he stops in the middle of it to ask if you know who he's talking about, and you say no. Well, anyway. Jerry Seinfeld as Hamlet. To be? Oh, no, to be. Who are these people at me? Christopher Walken, when you ask him what he loves most about Christmas, snow. Christopher Walken, when you ask him who his favorite of the Three Stooges is, no. Christopher Walken trying to sound black, no. Jay Leno as Godzilla, me. So the audience sat there and waited. The days turned into weeks. Let's turn to the Old Testament. If you have the Old Testament at home, if you flip the corner pages, you could see Jesus riding a horse. And you can make him go backwards. On the other side, there's a fat lady with a hula hoop. And back then, everyone thought the fat lady with the hula hoop would become famous. No one thought Jesus was going anywhere. Had the fat lady with the hula hoop gotten better management, today you'd wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, stub your toe and go, "Ah, fat lady with a hula hoop." "Ah, you fat lady with a hula hoop." Gentlemen of the jury, I bring up my next witness. Do you swear to a fat lady with a hula hoop? You know, once, when I was at life's lowest ebb, and I felt like no one would ever love or accept me, I checked into a motel room in the middle of nowhere, and I was lying there in the dark, about to end it all, when all of a sudden there was a glow of light, and I looked up, and Jesus was standing over me like this, and I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and finally he spoke and said, "Gilbert, am I fat?" I said, "I don't know, turn around." And then I said, "Jesus," and he went, "Please, jeez." And I said, "Geez, I feel like no one will ever accept me." And Jesus looked at me and said, "Hey, you know what my feeling is? Accept me or go to hell." Then he grabbed my head and gave me some noogies. And he said, "Well, I'm going to be leaving now, and I might not be back for another 1,000,000,000 years. You want me to do anything like end war?" And I said, "No, you're a guest. Get out of here." He said, "I can cure all disease." I said, "No, go. And take a piece of cake with you." Take a piece of, I can't eat so much cake. Take a piece, go bad. At the Last Supper, how come no one sat at the other side of the table? Don't you think Christ would have said, hey, could you move your plate over there? See, I think originally there were people on the other side of the table, but those were the ones going, you know, the air conditioner hits me right on the back of the neck. It's just as well there weren't people on the other side of the table. Would have looked stupid in the painting, sat people there like this. Sometimes I think when God created me, He wanted to make the world's most perfect human being, and in the middle of it, He got a phone call. You know, I usually don't reveal this, but Gilbert Gottfried is just my stage name. My actual born name is Money Hungry Christ Killer. Which I was always comfortable with. I had to change it when I went into show business, because I'd walk into an agent's office and he'd say, so, what's your name, kid? And I'd say, Money Hungry Christ Killer. And they'd always say the same thing. A little too Jewish. I just saw Liam Neeson's latest film. It's his 50th film where his daughter gets kidnapped. Once again, he's on the phone with the kidnappers going, give me daughter back. I want me daughter back. Give me daughter back and give me Lucky Charms. You know, the actress Hilary Swank from $1 Million Baby and Boys Don't Cry, she is not only an Academy Award-winning actress, but she took extensive training in CPR. And this is true. One time a man was having a seizure in the street, and Hilary Swank ran over and performed CPR on him. And he died. And ever since that happened, I walk around with a medical bracelet that says, in case of emergency, keep Hilary Swank the fuck away from me. You know, everything that I know about autism, I learned from Jenny McCarthy. Jenny McCarthy taught me that childhood vaccinations cause autism. So I didn't have either one of my kids vaccinated, and I'm happy to say that neither one of them is autistic. Both of them have polio. So you gotta take the good with the bad. This whole show is being taped. Oh, what's he gonna do with that tape? Maybe he'll tape his mouth shut. We can only pray. You know, if he tapes his mouth shut, we can glue his nostrils together. Then he'll try to talk and his head will explode. Ah, damn it, he missed. Swanee, how I love you, my dear Swanee. I did the world to see you once more. Let's talk about fried chicken. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. This is the end of you, Flash Gordon. Hulk Hogan. Well, you're a lovely couple, but now it's time to play your bachelor. Now, the answer was Winston Churchill, and you said staple gun. You should have known that. For God's sakes, run! Microphones go off to war. Today you are a microphone. As you look upon the world today, is 13 years of age, old enough to bear the responsibility of the microphone. Let us turn to page 106. He said unto her, as her to him, as him to her, as she to him, as me to them, and them to him. I am the Eggman. I do not like green eggs and ham. Ich nazo shagachadera, machnadu galil chaishabo. Achad, join in if you know the words. Every toy winds up monkey. The dog from the Little Rascals. You know, one person I'm tired of everybody attacking, and that's Bill Cosby. But I appeared on 2 of his shows, and I'd watch him. And not only would he be acting in the scene, but he'd be directing all the other actors and saying where every light and camera should be. And in the middle of all that, he would turn to me and ask how I was feeling. And one time I said I had a headache. And I woke up the next morning. With my pants around my ankles. And I'll never forget what he said to me right before I passed out. He said, "How's the cows in the lake? And he goes to the daisy. And he, and the house of lake with the cows in Now I'm going to tell you something that this has taken me years. Because it's always been painful for me to talk about, but I feel like I have to. And for years I blame myself. But years ago, when we were filming Problem Child, that little kid kept grabbing my dick. And I didn't say anything at the time, because he was the star of the movie, and he threatened he'd ruin my career. And he did. You know, Michael Douglas said in an interview that he thinks he may have gotten throat cancer from performing oral sex on his wife. I don't know. I think cancer is a small price to pay to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would take any form of cancer to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would happily get Parkinson's to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would be glad to have lupus to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would happily take a combination of the Ebola virus and Lou Gehrig's disease to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would take a strain of muscular dystrophy so powerful that while I'm licking Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy, Jerry Lewis pops out. And I'm pushing him out of the way, trying to lick her pussy, and he's going, You know, I'm self-employed. Ever since I became self-employed, I can honestly say my boss is a no-good Jew bastard. I like when someone makes a bigoted remark, but they get the character traits mixed up. It's like, oh, those goddamn Italians, they're always trying to Jew you out of your money. I like when someone makes an anti-Semitic remark and tries to get up by going, hey, I didn't mean it that way. I know several cheap, hook-nosed Irish people. A man goes to a doctor. He says, doctor, I don't know if my wife has TB or VD. Doctor says, chase her around the bed. If she coughs, fuck her. An old man goes to the doctor for an examination. Doctor examines him and says, old man, you've got cancer and you've got Alzheimer's. The old man says, thank God I don't have cancer. A man goes to the doctor. The doctor prescribes suppositories. The man comes back the next week. He says, doctor, these suppositories ain't doing a damn thing. The doctor says, are you sure you're taking them the right way? He says, of course I'm taking them the right way. What do you think I'm doing, shoving them up my ass? Jewish man is walking down the road. He finds a lamp. He picks up the lamp, rubs the lamp. A genie pops out. The genie says, I shall grant you one wish. The old Jew takes out a crumpled up map, unfolds the map, and says, you see this part of the world? It's called the Middle East. There's been nothing but war and bloodshed there for centuries. I wish for you to bring peace to this part of the world. The genie says, even with all my power, I'm helpless. Can I grant you a different wish? So the old Jew thinks, and he goes, I've been married to the same Jewish girl for over 50 years. Never once has she given me a blowjob. I wish you could get her just once before I die to give me one blowjob. And the genie goes, can I have another look at that map? A man walks over to his wife. He hands her 2 aspirins and a glass of water. She says, what's this for? I don't have a headache. He goes, good, let's fuck. A man has the words, I love you, tattooed to his dick. He goes home to his wife. His wife says, stop trying to put words in my mouth. A man gets a call at work. They say, this is the hospital. Your wife's been in a car accident. So the man rushes to the hospital. The doctor comes out and goes, sir, your wife was in a horrible car accident. She's going to remain paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of her life. She'll need 24-hour medical care, of which your insurance company is not going to cover. You're going to have to bathe her and feed her and change her diapers, because she'll have no control over her bladder or her bowels. And the man breaks down crying. He goes, oh, this is horrible. And the doctor says, I'm just fucking with you. She's dead. A guy's in a bar. He gets so drunk he pukes all over his shirt. He goes up to the bartender and goes, you know, when my wife finds out I got so drunk I puked on my shirt, she'll kill me. Bartender goes, don't worry. Here's a little trick. Take a $10 bill, slip it in your pocket, go home to your wife, say some other guy at the bar got drunk, he puked on your shirt, and he gave you $10 to have it cleaned. And he goes, I'll try that. So he goes home, he goes, honey, some guy at the bar got so drunk, he puked on my shirt, but he gave me $10 to have it cleaned. And the wife looks, she goes, this is a 20. And he goes, I forgot to tell you, he also shit in my pants. A little boy comes home from school. He says, Dad, I got my first blowjob today. The father goes, that's great. How was it? He goes, tasted awful. Because he had cum in his mouth. young boy with a mouthful of cum. You know, rosy red cheeks and a mouthful of gooey, steaming white cum, where it looks like he swallowed a jar of Elmer's Gold. But it's not Elmer's Gold. It's cum. And cum doesn't taste good. Well, no one has to tell you that. Thank you. Good night.
Gilbert Godfrey, everybody. One more time for Gilbert Godfrey. This has been something, huh, guys? Well. This feels like the end of fucking Grease, doesn't it? Huh? What if we don't see each other again? Let's discuss a few things here. Thank you so much for coming to this wonderful venue. It has been an absolute treat. Let's give some shout outs to some people. Let's start with this lineup. One more time for the great Burt God. 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 One more